Imagine you left the house feeling completely normal, and then suddenly you start noticing something very small, almost invisible, yet it steals your entire focus. Your shirt sleeve is 1 centimeter longer than your jacket sleeve. The fabric at your waist rises slightly every time you walk. An inner layer twists and bunches up for no clear reason. No one notices, but you do. And you feel a real irritation, bigger than it should be. Why? Why can a tiny detail in your clothes occupy you more than an important conversation, a lesson, or even a happy moment? Are we too sensitive, or is there a deeper explanation? Irritation from mismatched clothing is not just being picky or exaggerating. In psychology, part of this feeling is known as sensory sensitivity, which is a natural difference between people in how they receive bodily signals. Some people can ignore the friction of fabric completely, while others feel every texture, every pull, every slight shift. The nervous system does not process signals at the same intensity for everyone. Imagine there is an internal volume amplifier for the senses. In some of us, it is set a little higher, making normal sensations feel more irritating, but the matter does not stop there. There is another important concept in neuroscience called sensory prediction. Your brain does not simply wait for sensation and then interpret it. It predicts it in advance. When you wear a jacket, your brain expects the layers to be stable, aligned, and equal in length and shape. If reality contradicts this expectation, even slightly, an internal tension arises. It is the gap between what you expected and what actually happened. That gap creates the irritation. It is as if your brain is saying, "There is an error, fix it." You may ask, why do I feel like I cannot ignore it? Here comes the role of attention and focus. Studies in cognitive science suggest that attention works like a spotlight. When it shines on something, that thing grows in our awareness. At first, the sensation may be mild, but once you notice it, your brain starts monitoring it constantly. And the more you monitor it, the stronger it becomes. It is a feedback loop. Attention to stronger sensation to more attention. There is also a side related to our love for order and symmetry. The human brain naturally prefers balanced patterns. We feel comfortable with symmetry, straight lines, and equilibrium. When sleeves are uneven or layers are unstable, a visual and tactile break in that symmetry occurs. Even if it is very small, it awakens an immediate desire in us to restore balance. This does not mean you have a psychological disorder. It simply means your brain is wired to seek consistency. An important question: is this irritation normal, or does it indicate something deeper? The answer: in most cases, it is completely normal. But if the irritation is so intense that it disrupts your day or makes you adjust your clothes dozens of times, it may be linked to a high level of sensory sensitivity or perfectionist tendencies. Perfectionism is not always related to achievement. Sometimes it appears in very small details, like organizing a desk or aligning sleeves. There is another interesting explanation: interoceptive awareness. Some people have a very high awareness of their bodily signals. They feel their heartbeat, the movement of their clothes, and subtle changes in posture. This awareness can be an advantage, for example, in sports or the arts, but it can also make small frictions more irritating than usual. But why does it feel worse when we are stressed? Because stress increases the alertness of the nervous system. When you are anxious, your brain enters a heightened monitoring state. Everything becomes clearer, louder, stronger. So uneven sleeves might not bother you on a calm day, but they may irritate you greatly on a day full of pressure. Now let us ask a practical question. How can this irritation be managed? First, understanding alone reduces half the problem. When you realize that what is happening is a natural neurological reaction, the sense of strangeness or self-blame decreases. Second, try consciously redirecting your attention. Instead of trying to suppress the sensation, acknowledge it and then shift your focus to another activity. Third, choose fabrics and layers that suit you. Some materials create more friction than others, and some cuts are more stable. Experimentation matters here. There is also a simple exercise. When you feel irritated, take a deep breath and focus on the sensation of your feet touching the ground. This redistributes your attention from a very narrow point, the sleeve or the waist, to a broader bodily sensation. Over time, your brain learns that this feeling is not a threat and does not require constant monitoring. From a simple philosophical angle, Perhaps this small irritation reminds us of something bigger. We do not live only in our thoughts, but in our bodies as well. Tiny details in fabric can affect our mood, focus, and even our decisions. The body is not merely a container for the mind, but a constant partner in experience. In the end, the question is not, why am I irritated by uneven sleeves? Rather, what does this irritation reveal about how my brain works, about my sensitivity, about my need for order? When we understand the mechanism, irritation transforms from a mysterious enemy into a phenomenon that can be managed. And perhaps next time you feel your jacket sliding down while the layer beneath rises up, you will smile a little because you know your brain is simply trying to create balance in a world full of small details. And here is your challenge. The next time this happens, do not adjust your clothes immediately. Wait 10 seconds. Observe the sensation. Ask yourself, is it truly unbearable, or am I just used to perfection? You may discover that the irritation fades when you stop giving it so much spotlight. And you may discover something deeper about yourself, about your relationship with order, control, and the subtle sensation that makes you, you.